Hello, this is Manish Patel from Ichimoku Today is June 1st, 2014. This is our Ichimoku analysis for the futures market, where we go for commodity futures, crude oil, natural gas, heating oil, sugar, bonds, and so forth. It's been about a month since we did this video. Just gonna be in and out and traveling, but hopefully we'll get back to a regular basis very soon. But it also depends on the markets. Normal procedure, this is disclaimer to state this is for education use only. We're not soliciting you to buy or sell any particular instrument. If you do so, take any trades that you're doing at your own risk. All the information is for education use only. All the charts you're going to see are basically from TradeStation that you're going to see today. Here is our contact information here. Here's the email at info@eiicapital.com, or you could call us at any of our office locations here. Also, you could access our website here, ichimokutrade.com. It has various information out there, from free videos to heat map to multiple time frame email alerts to heat map and various other tools, trading tools for the beginning trader to the experienced trader out there. Okay, let's go straight to TradeStation and let's go start looking at charts. Remember, on the left hand side is the daily time frame, right hand side is the weekly time frame. These support resistance lines that you see are basically from the weekly time frame, and that's giving you a long-term projection of where the support resistances are. So the first one, oops, there's no linking here. Let's get that link going. First one we're looking at here, we're going to start going down commodities, and if you look here, this basically here is soybean oil. If you look at soybean oil, it's trending on the weekly time frame. It's starting to consolidate here on the daily time frame, but this is still bullish. We're right at a major support at 1485. Next support is 1440, and the next resistance, which is retesting the high, is 1517. Be careful and kind of going counter trend right now. Reason why this is still very, very strong bullish. As long as it holds the 1485 support, it's going to remain bullish. Next is soybean oil. This is contrary to soybean up here, soybeans up there. Soybean oil is different. It's actually bearish right now. This if you shrink this down on the weekly time frame, you could see that it was bearish here. Did a pullback here. Not even a major pullback quite yet. Kind of fell short of a major pullback. It's now trying to retest the low at 38. So the resistance is 41, and the next one after that is 43. But this is bearish trending on both the daily and weekly, and it looks like at least it's going to get to 38 with a high probability. And after that, we're not sure. We have to look at the charts. Next is soybean meal. This is falling more towards soybeans. This is bullish trending, as you can see, and it's still very, very bullish trending. This is probably more bullish than soybeans, but this is going up, 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 up. It's at an all-time high. I think it's at an all-time high. I haven't even looked at that. Let me shrink this down. Yep, it's at an all-time high. Support on this guy, minor support is 1484. Major support would be 1443. But overall, this has been the strongest of all the soy products out there, which is soybean meal. Next is corn. If you look at corn, this is bearish trending on the weekly time frame, and you can see it was bearish trending. Finally did a major pullback to about 411 and 5/8. Held that level, and now it's starting to go down to retest this low, slowly breaking all the supports out there. It broke the support at 471, and it's now slowly getting to about 450, which is the next major support. You can see here on the daily time frame here, this is starting to trend too. We're at a minor support right now, so we may bounce off this support level, which is right around 462. Bounce off there, go back up to about 471, and then make a move to go down further. Next is wheat. If you look at wheat, this is very, very similar to corn that you saw a minute ago. This is bearish trending, did a major pullback. I think it did a major pullback to about right here, which is probably about 734. It started going down here, trying to retest the low. It's broken a support of 646, and now trying to go its way to about 609 right now. But this is bullish trend to both the daily and weekly. However, it does need to pull back up to about 464 before I think it can resume to go down to retest that low. Next is Oats. If you look at Oats, this is very bullish here. It did a minor pullback right now. We're kind of expecting the minor pullback So to be to about 317. It quite didn't pull back that far, so this is telling us this is very, very strong. It's broken resistance at 360 and trying to go back to 400. We'll have to see what's going on, but considering never pulled back to about 417, this is extremely strong, so be careful if you're trying to go bearish, but this does look like with high probability it eventually will come back up to 448. Next is here cocoa. If you look at cocoa, it's bullish trending both the daily and weekly. And you can see from the daily, kind of needs to pull back because this huge move going up here. It held the support right around 28, 25. Sorry, 28, about 2860 slash 70. Kind of held that support, which is from the daily time frame, and came back up. And you could see it really didn't get to the weekly support here at 23, 28, 25. So this, since it didn't get here, it's extremely strong, and that's one of the reasons why it broke the resistance here and kind of broke the 3,000 level. It closed above 3,000, so we have to see a follow through this week, but it looks like it can sit there and possibly follow through and get to a whole new level going up. So I'd be very cautious of that. If you're trying to go bearish, it looks like it's trying to get to about 31.57. Next, you're looking at here, it's not rough rice, it's coffee. If you look at coffee, last year it was all bearish. This year kind of came all the way up here, pulled back to about 206, held that level at 206, which is a major pullback level, and now it's trying to get to a key level, which is about 163.53, which is its major support. If it breaks that support, then we got a high probability of coming back down to about 120. If it holds it here, we possibly could consolidate between 163.53 and 206. So keep an eye on that one. Because that's dealing with coffee. Also directly related to, believe it or not, Starbucks. Next is orange juice. You can see here, this is bullish trending here. A little ugly, but it's still bullish trending here. And you can see this is bullish trending and kind of did a pullback on the daily. It quite hasn't gotten to the weekly support at 152.61, but it did get to the daily support, bounced off and started moving back up. It looks like everything's trying to get to about 160, 161 resistance level. That's going to be the key level to see exactly what happens. If it holds here at 160.32, then it starts making a move down. This thing's going to sit there and probably go all the way down to the bottom of 144, 112 and start a consolidation pattern. If it breaks 160, then we got a high probability getting to 166 and possibly going higher too, because we never pulled back to the 152 level. So keep an eye on that one, but because that's at a critical level. Rough rice, you can see it's just one nasty chart here. The daily time frame looks bearish. However, this is consolidating between 15.800 and 14.872. We are at a major level right now, which is an even number, which is right around 15.009. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. We did move down to that level very fast, so I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back up to about 15.348, hold that level, and then come back down to 15 and see if we try to break it. But I'm not sure if it's going to break it on this level this week. I would probably prefer to pull back to that 153 level, kind of test it and hold it, and then start making a move down. Sugar, which has been an interesting one. This is bearish trending. It did a major pullback. That was kind of a weak pullback here to the cloud here, and then came down, broke the low here, and so continuation trend trade. Again, it hit the cloud, bounced off there, and it has a high probability of coming back to 16 and possibly going lower. So you have to look for that. But as long as it holds the resistance level 18.41, this has a probability coming down to 16 and possibly breaking it to go lower. So keep an eye on that one for sure. Next you have, so if you look at commodity futures, basically sugar is still trending downwards. You got corn that's bullish. You got cocoa that's bullish. You got coffee that's basically doing a major pullback at critical levels. Wheat and corn, if you look at them, they're basically bearish trending. Soy and soybean meal, soybean meal are basically bullish. So that kind of sums up the commodity futures out there. Let's go over to more of the energy type of sectors here. Crude oil, if you look at crude oil, it's just been one big nasty consolidation pattern. However, it's still bullish. It's a little bullish to the bullish side. And if you look at it, it's broke the resistance level here, which is roughly around about 103.45. Broke it and pulled back to that level, and then we're kind of at a critical level as far as the daily is concerned. If it holds this, then we do have a potential going to next leg of breaking 104.68 to go to 106.80. However, we got to break this level. Hold this support level which you're currently at. If we don't hold that one, the most critical one on the weekly time frame is 101.43. As long as we hold the support of 101.43, we have a potential to keep on going higher. My guess is, based on timing elements in Ichimoku, that we probably have towards the end of this month before we possibly could go up if we don't already break out this week. Next is natural gas. A lot of people are saying, well, this is bearish, and some people are saying that it's bullish. If you look at it, it was basically consolidating all of 2013. As we showed in our quarterly institutional report, we predicted natural gas to go up. It did break out here, and you could see it from here on the weekly time frame. Let me shrink this down a little. So you can see this is a big bearish movement that's happened for a couple of years. We did break out to the bullish side, but remember, this bullish movement here is just a minor pullback for this big trendwood downwards, which has been a long-term basis. So, this is still a counter-trend bullish movement here. The key thing here is we're holding this support level 4.327. We've tested a couple of times. We're holding it now. The green line's moved up to that level, and we now have a possibility of a major support here, and we have a possibility of going higher. So, of course, we got a high probability right now to get in 4.767. If we break that, then we do have a high probability of breaking, going to 4.962 and possibly going to 5.500. So keep an eye on this one, because a lot of people are dismissing natural gas, but it does have a potential of going higher. So be cautious of that moving forward. Next, you have heating oil. If you look at heating oil, this is bullish trending here. It's trying to go for a pullback here, but it's been consolidating here. So it really hasn't gone for a pullback. It really hasn't done a trend continuation at all either. So you're kind of at a major support level of 2.8636. That has to hold. If as long as it holds there, we're still in a bullish trend. If we break that, then we have a possibility of a major pullback, which could come all the way down to about 2.8081. If we break the resistance level of 2.9464, then we got a possibility of a trend continuation, which could get to 3 and gets higher above that. Next, you got is gasoline. Gasoline here is one ugly chart. This is very volatile, and if you look at it, it's just consolidating. It's been consolidating for a very, very long time, kind of like the Q1 and Q2 of last year, of 2013 to now. And if you look at the consolidation pattern, it's roughly being 2.60 all the way up to about 3.08 as being the consolidation pattern. We're kind of retesting the top of the consolidation, which is 3.0125. We still haven't broke it. There is a possibility of breaking it as long as this happens within a month and a half. After a month and a half, then we do have some timing elements that do have gasoline possibly going down. Next, you have a cotton. You can see cotton's just one ugly chart. We're at a major support at 86.22. If it holds that level, then of course we're going to sit there and go back and forth and consolidate, which is nothing really in cotton. You can see from the daily time frame, this looks like a bearish movement here. This is a straight movement down, so there really wasn't a good setup on here. The only setup you had was roughly around here on the daily time frame and lower time frames, but at that point you probably would be going against the major support on the weekly, so that wasn't a high probability setup to go down, even though it's tanked that much. Next is dollar, US dollar. You can see US dollar had a chance to sit there and keep on doing this bearish trend to the downside. However, it didn't do that at all. It came up here and came right back to the support at 80.627. We've come back to that support without breaking, that resistance without breaking down. That's not good for the bearish movement at all. In fact, this looks like it's trying to go bullish, so I'll be very, very cautious in trying to go this bearish. I wouldn't go bullish on this either until we break the 80.627. If we do, then we can sit there and finally go for a major pullback on this ugly weekly chart for the dollar futures. Next, you got the feeder cattle. If you look at a lot of the livestock, they've been pretty much bullish, going drastically up in the last couple of weeks or beginning of this year. If you look at feeder cattle, this has been going up. We're at a major resistance now at 197, so probably go about to 200 or fall short of it, which is a nice even number. And you can see the support is 192.757. We kind of need some pullbacks for this trend to continuously keep on going. Live cattle, of course, is bullish too. You could see it came all the way about to 140, which is a nice even number. Bounce off there. It's kind of holding the support at 137.56. If it breaks down, then it can sit there and get to about 134.2. And lastly, in the livestock is lean hogs, and you can see this is kind of the weaker of all the livestock there. So if you're kind of doing a pairs trade between some of these livestock futures here, the strongest you can see is the feeder cattle, and the weakest of them is pretty much the lean hogs. Lean hogs, if you see it, it's at a major support right now. The critical is what's going to do here. If it breaks down here, then we have a possibility of going for a major pullback in this big, nice bullish trend here. If it doesn't hold here, then if it holds here, then we're going to go back to about 131.325, and then at a point have a high probability of retesting the high. But we're at a major support level here, so if you're looking for bullish trades, this would be a good time to start looking on the lower time for bullish setups. If they don't trigger, then you know it's going to sit there and go downwards. Next, you got bonds and notes, and we're going to look at here at the 2-year Treasury notes, and you can see here in the 2-year Treasury notes, this is still bullish. Trending. It's an ugly bullish trending pattern, an all-time high here in the futures in both the daily and weekly. Next, you have the 5-year Treasury notes. Notice this is not bullish trending. In fact, this is it was bullish trending, but it's consolidating right now. So the other chart, which you look here at the 5-year, they're a lot more bullish. Sorry, the 2-year is a lot more bullish than the 5-year. So if that's another pairs trade you can look at if you don't want to play one future against another future percentage wise. And then lastly, next you got the 10-year, and you can see this is consolidating too between levels, and we're getting to about a major resistance, which is holding at 125.27. And then the next one in the bonds and notes futures is the US 30-year Treasuries, which is pretty much going up, but this is just in one big ugly consolidation pattern. So if you look at it, the only really viewed bond note that's trending is pretty much this 2-year. Everything else is pretty much in a major consolidation pattern, where it's getting to pretty much the top of the consolidation pattern, or to the second level of the top of the consolidation pattern. If you look at the 30-year, the 30-year is probably more weak, bullish compared to all the others. Let's go over to the metals now. Let's look at platinum. Platinum had a nice little upward movement here on the daily. You could see it was just to the top of the consolidation pattern. This is just one ugly product here, which is really not doing anything, so we're just going to move on. Gold has been an interesting one. Sat there, nice little bearish trend here. Bearish trend here, pulled back to the cloud, got to the bottom of the cloud, bounced off there, got to a major support. We've been holding at 1285 last week. We finally broke it, so now we got a high probability of getting to 1227. A lot of people think the floor is in. No, it doesn't look like that from the chart. We may do a pullback upwards when the level we're kind of looking for is kind of back to about probably about 1273. Get to that resistance level, hold it, and then sit there and make a move back down to 1227, and possibly go down to 1200. Until we see some signs of a floor in, we really don't believe there's a floor here for gold. Our timing elements will tell us the floor for gold is going to be very much to Q4 this year, but right now, nothing at all. Silver. If you look at silver here, this is flirting around. There's a major support of 18.49 that's been around for a very long time. That support is being held very well, and you can see here that we haven't even pulled back to the cloud. So this is very strong bullish. If we break the 18.493, silver could sit there and go down to a whole new level, because this is a major kind of like a yearly support that it's been holding. So it's a very critical point now. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that one. Lastly is copper. Nothing really going on copper, so it's boring. So we're not even going to talk about this, but you can see the levels here that we've outlined. Okay, that's it for the future presentation, Ichimoku analysis for futures. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact us, and we'll go from there.